Hello, my name is Jim Fiesta. I am a licensed clinical social worker, and I have been providing supportive counseling sessions since 2001. In the summer of 2012, I had a unique opportunity to provide supportive counseling services to Iraq veteran John Novotnak. John had been a patient of mine for a year in an office-based counseling setting to treat anxiety, depression, and barriers related to adjusting to civilian life. Last September, John and I were chosen for a pilot program developed by Canyon Heroes to take a break from the office-based setting and immerse ourselves in the beauty, recreation, and serenity of the Colorado River through the Grand Canyon. Hatch Expeditions provided the guided whitewater rafting trip. The expedition through the Grand Canyon allowed John to decompress. Our riverside chats then offered John the opportunity to improve self-awareness, coping with stress, and enhance his trust. Also, while on the expedition, John successfully learned mindfulness techniques, which enriched enjoyment and relaxation that had nearly become impossible for John. Now I'm honored to introduce John Novotnak, who will tell us about his journey through the Grand Canyon.
Thank you, Jim. After a 15-month deployment, 12 months of it being in Iraq, I had issues with hypervigilance, anxiety, and constantly being on guard. When I came home, it was hard to get rid of these feelings, and I continued to be hypervigilant, have anxiety, and be constantly on guard. I began talking to Jim Fiesta at the VA in a clinical setting, which greatly helped me, and I continued to work on some techniques for relaxation, for dealing with anxiety, and for dealing with some of the things that I had to deal with in Iraq. Certain things like dead road-killed animals on the side of the road, which were potential IED sites, and the smell of diesel fuel would bring back a flood of memories from Iraq. Working with Jim on the anxiety issues was one of the best things I've ever done in my life. However, when Jim asked me to go down the Colorado River with him on this pilot program, it allowed us to go out of the clinical setting. It allowed us to be in nature, and on our riverside chats, it would allow us to talk about things in a free and open setting, which was very, very helpful. By the third day, I truly began to relax. Jim and I would have our riverside chats. We would talk about a number of issues that we had talked about in the clinical setting. However, I felt much more relaxed, much calmer, much easier to open up to Jim and to talk about my feelings of anxiety or anything that was combat or was service related. And as time went on throughout the trip, these feelings of being open, being immersed in nature, being in this outdoor setting just allowed Jim and I to have talks and to open up and talk about so many different things that were much more difficult to speak about in the clinical setting. This trip was very beneficial in learning to return back to a civilian lifestyle, to turn back to a civilian world, and to transition from a situation where you're constantly on guard and constantly aware to a civilian life where you can relax and learn to enjoy life.
Hi, I'm Joe Byers. I'm a board member of Canyon Heroes. I served for 2 tours in Vietnam, and I've been intimately involved with the pilot program that you just heard Jim Fiesta and John talk about. I think that their testimony that you just witnessed is compelling as to the therapeutic effect of this Canyon Heroes journey down the Colorado River. We have in Westmoreland County over 15,000 veterans, male and female, that can qualify or have need for therapeutic assistance like they described. What we would really like to have is your financial support for this program. Please understand, it's a 501c3, it's not for profit, it's tax-deductible contributions that you can make by sending a check to Canyon Heroes, Post Office Box 404, Ligonier, Pennsylvania 15658. Thank you.